Good evening. Uh, Glenn Smith are here to introduce the class Enjoying Shakespeare, and we certainly hope that you do enjoy Shakespeare. If you don't, we hope we can change your minds, because Shakespeare is a lot of fun and there's a lot of things we can do. Our dilemma this year has been, what do we choose to teach? In as much as the festival was canceled this summer, and they chose to teach next summer the plays we're going to do this summer, which are the plays that we read last year. Now, unless you really want to read the same plays over again, then we thought it might be more fun to do something different. However,
we want a fresh approach, and we want to do those things that we feel are just as good as what they did.
All of Shakespeare's plays have merit, so I don't think there's going to be a problem there. We thought one thing that we could do is, if you are intent on going to the festival this coming summer, that we certainly would be happy to entertain questions about any of the shows that we taught last year. And if we don't know the answer, we can always make one up. Isn't that what we do all the time anyway, Glenn?
Oh, yes, that's true. Let us introduce the plays that we will do this year. The first one is A Midsummer Night's Dream. And that one is one we had fun with last time. And Dave, the second one?
My second one is The Winter's Tale. We have not taught this play at all. It was one of the last plays that Ellery taught when she was teaching the class. It's a different show. I look at it and I think, gee, sounds like very much like a soap opera. But it has a lot of twists and turns and surprises, so it's one that you probably have not seen. I did check it out, and they do have, I think, 2 copies of it in the Orem Library, both the BBC version and the Royal Shakespeare Company version. So that one is available for those of you who want to go check it out.
Anthony and Cleopatra is the third play. Most of you remember that Anthony got stuck with Cleopatra, and when she couldn't get away, she had a snake crawl in and bite her. So we call it the asp.
So don't cozy up with the snakes. They're not our friends. And the final play that we would talk about is Romeo and Juliet. Again, it's a show that most of you know, and that we can relate to it in the fact that now as parents we try to look at it and say, are there things that we might have done better to save our kids than Romeo and Juliet's parents did.
Well, the interesting thing about Romeo and Juliet, you can call it a comedy, you can call it a tragedy, you can call it being in the wrong place at the wrong time, pulling out the sword at the wrong time, or getting a hold of your pen and killing him in the process.
And as one of our Elder Quest members mentioned to me, and Romeo and Juliet is kind of like the COVID virus that here the messenger was taking the important message to Romeo, and he got quarantined and couldn't make it with the message.
That's true.
And so it does relate, and I expect we'll have some kerfuffles along the way and trying to get things running smoothly. It's a new adventure for all of us, so any of you that feel a little not quite sure about what's going to go on, know that we're all in the boat together. And as long as we keep paddling, if we paddle on both sides of the boat, we won't go in a circle.
And thanks so very much for your attention to what we've said. We pray that you will join with us, because we think we've got an exciting year. Looking forward to seeing you.
And we really want your comments as well. It's not going to be an exciting play if Ben and I have to read all the parts. I have done that before. I would suggest to you that if you are reading at home to be ahead of the game, that is perfectly fine. But I would recommend that when you do it, the best way of all is to read it out loud. Shakespeare's plays were never meant to be just studied as dry print messages. They were meant to be taught. And if you can't face talking it, talk it silently, but read it slowly. It's not something to practice your speed reading skills with.
That's what I have found. Look for the meaning by doing it slow. And when you look for the meaning, if you're doing it slow, your brain will have time to catch up.
The other suggestion that I would have to you, if you are wanting to get ahead in the game, is go to bard.org. That's bard.org, all small letters. Just Google that in, and it will come up the Utah Shakespeare Festival webpage. And if you scroll all the way down toward the bottom, you'll find a section called Education. At the last entry on the Education one will be class notes. And there are notes for all of the plays that are in the canon. And so you can easily find the one we're doing or any other play that you want to research. And they have synopses and the character lists, and they have scholarly articles about them. They're certainly well worth reading. Most of them are not awfully long, so it's not too hard to do it. And it gets kind of enjoyable to get lost in Shakespeare for a few minutes at least. And while you're on that page, there are a lot of other things that are kind of fun. The festival this summer has been doing what they call a virtual festival. They've been having seminars like the seminar in the Grove. They've had a lot of different speakers, and those are available for you to look at on the YouTube page that's associated with the festival. And it just has a link right there in the virtual what am I thinking of, Glenn?
Oh, the virtual,
a season. Virtual season
showing, because it's not a show, virtual.
It's called Virtual Season, and so you can go in. They have 2 seminars a week, and they've been very, very good. They have actors, they have costumers, they have directors, they have all sorts of things happening, and they are well worth it. Some of them last an hour, some of them are only about 30 minutes, but all of them I have watched have been extremely good.
Well, thanks very much.
We appreciate your watching us. Have a good night, everybody, or a good day, because we're doing it this at night, but you'll be seeing us in the daytime. So anyway, it's an exciting thing that we're doing, be something new, and we're learning along with you. So take care. We'll talk with you later.